How can I challenge my assumption to boost my creativity? What's the assumption? Assumption means like that a belief or kind of like a something is this thing that key like 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 4 8. It's a kind of like a something, it's a true fact by the way. Okay, yeah. But I kind of like a something, what's the assumption? Okay, like basically is this thing what's assumption means like that na ki you think that ki whatever that you are thinking is right, is a correct, that you believe in this thing. Okay, yeah. Example is this thing, I assume that the earth is circular, is a sphere. Okay, yeah. And earth is actually revolve around the sun. I haven't really seen in my real life, like I haven't really seen in my naked, like I haven't really seen by myself, but I definitely assume that ki the earth is a sphere. All right, yeah. And earth is actually rotated around the sun. All right, yeah. Why did I assume that thing? Because of that ki I have kind of like a something information regarding about this and that, and basically we have a lot of calculation and we have a lot of things to kind of like a tell us that ki earth is not flat, earth is kind of like a sphere and earth is rotated around the sun. So yeah, like basically I could assume that, and that for that assumption really required information, and I have that information, so that's why that assumption became kind of like a something the reality. Okay, that is called kind of like a something assumption in a creative field. Okay, there are kind of like a something really always be a foggy. What's a foggy? A foggy means like that you have an idea. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a something uncooked, it's a very raw, but you have this kind of like a something idea. Okay, yeah. And you don't really sure about this thing that ki should I supposed to execute this idea or not, because it lot of gonna happen things like I don't know. Okay, like basically you have this idea and probably you're not really sure about this thing that ki is this idea is really good or not. Okay, it always happened with me. Okay, yeah. Let me tell you one thing that ki when I kind of like a something wanted to take some sort of photos. Okay, yeah, I kind of like inspired some of the photos from the other creative people from the social media like YouTube and the Pinterest. People are actually taking a lot of really good photos. Okay, and I like when I see that photo, I realize myself that photo was really good and I could execute that photo really well. Okay, yeah. But when I tried, like I assumed that I could take this photo, but when I tried to take this photo, the photo is didn't really meet the expectation that I want, and that is really hectic thing for me. Like I was like really fucked up things, like when my expectation didn't really match up with the reality. And like basically it's this thing, I assume that ki like the photo like the photo that I inspired from, I didn't really I don't know. Okay, yeah. So do you understand what is actually the assumption? Okay, but it is also really essential that you have to assume that thing ki you should supposed to do that, and it's really essential. Why? Because of that ki it's let you do thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically if I didn't really assume that ki like if I didn't really like consider that ki like I could took this photo something like that, then probably is this thing that I won't let myself to kind of like a take the photo. Okay, yeah. Like a failure and kind of like a something like always gonna happen. Okay, some projects are really good, some projects are really bad. Okay, and basically a lot of things actually happen. Like in the creative field, you might not gonna sure that okay, what gonna thing happen, good or bad. Okay, it's been bit really foggy all the time. Okay, yeah. But you have to be focused and instant of yourself and just kind of like a do your things. Okay, yeah. And failure and kind of it is like it happened. Okay, like accept the failure. This kind of like a something way that you could do this thing, and probably like 99% of your problem is actually solved by the accepting that you will got a failure. Okay, like how much experience that you have or how much powerful that you have to accept that ki in somewhere period of life, at some point you might gonna fail, and that is somewhat true. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing that ki assumption is the really essential. When you assume some sort of thing and try to believe that thing ki you could do this thing, then it will gonna really help you a lot. Because at the early stages of the creative field, it's a kind of like a something wrong. Okay, you don't really have any kind of like a something really structure to set up that kind of like a something idea into reality. Okay, yeah. So basically assumption is a kind of like a something structure that you are kind of like a hold, like assumption is a kind of like a something you giving a structure to that idea so that you could build that idea into the reality. All right, yeah. So assumption is a really essential thing. And like, yeah. So what is exactly that key? How do I supposed to like challenge my assumption to boost my creativity? It's a very weird question, but still, identify your assumption. Okay, yeah. Obviously identify assumption, like basically it's like assumption is a kind of like a something very wrong word. I usually prefer to be as inspired instead of assumption. I usually inspired, not assumption. Like basically when I got inspired I try to do this thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically inspired and assumption is kind of like something really like relate with this topic probably. Okay, yeah. um, Ask what if question. What's a what if question? What if question means like that, what if I do this, what if I do that, what if I merge two photos, what if I do this thing, what if I change the color, what if I do this thing. Like basically when you have that kind of like a something what if question, and when you solve this, when you try to figure it out that what if we do this thing, it's a kind of like a something you challenge yourself to be that key you could do this thing. Like it's a kind of like a something resistant, you have kind of like something curiosity to that find out the solution. Okay, and that that solution is always came from the one question, and that question is a what if. Okay, yeah. So it's really essential that you have to ask this question, that what if I could do this, or what if. Okay, yeah. Seek diverse perspective. Honestly, or definitely is this thing that you have to understand the every point of perspective. Experiment with a new approach, embrace the failure and feedback, reflect and analyze, practice and critical thinking, cultivative curiosity. And these are kind of like a something is this thing that help you to assumption my boost my creative and something like that. All right, yeah. All right, I should supposed to be end here. This is this then, and thank you.